Hi everyone, this is Jason Bierko of Wall Street for Main Street. I'm just going to do a short video today after today's Federal Reserve meeting. Just like many people predicted, the Federal Reserve did do an interest rate increase. This was mostly to maintain whatever sliver was left of credibility the Federal Reserve still has in some people's eyes. People like me, people who believe in the free market and Austrian school economics, who are anti-central banking, anti-central planning, we don't view any of these central bankers as having any credibility. This is now the second time in a decade the Federal Reserve has increased interest rates. They increased it in December of last year. They were supposed to increase it 4 times this year because they expected the economy to be a lot better. Their government has a history, whether it's the Federal Reserve or any other government planners, with their broken economic models of making ridiculously rosy forecasts, economic forecasts. To add to this point, my friend, author of the Silver Manifesto, newsletter writer at the Morgan Report with David Morgan, hedge fund manager and co-founder of Lemuria Royalty Company with David Morgan, Chris Marchese. He talks about that the 10-year budget forecast for the Congressional Budget Office, which was published in August of this year, their track record is absolutely horrible, maybe slightly better than the Federal Reserve, and they make the most ridiculous assumptions. The CBO is forecasting the current economic expansion will be the longest in U.S. history, lasting a minimum of 205 months. The prior record was 120 months and the average being less than 60 months. So the assumptions that these guys are making in their economic models are basically all wrong. I think they're intentionally all wrong to sell the public a bill of goods. So the government can continue borrowing, the central banks can continue manipulating interest rates and other devaluing currencies and other games. One of the main takeaways, though, is the Federal Reserve also said they plan 3 interest rate increases in 2017. If they actually do all 3 interest rate increases in 2017, in my humble opinion, the only reason they would do all 3 would be to intentionally crash markets and whatever's left of the real economy in the U.S. to blame it on Trump. Maybe they're taking their marching orders from higher globalists or whoever else is in command that, it's time to crash things and blame things on Trump, so he only gets 1 term. And so we can blame it all on Trump, even though Trump is inheriting such an enormous mess that there was lots and lots of problems caused by this. The Federal Reserve is also, guys, the only central bank out of all the major central banks like England, the European Central Bank, Japan, to actually raise interest rates even once in the last decade. So Zero Hedge covered this in an article. I did this on past videos. These central bankers, guys, they are in stagflate and lie mode. We will have worsening stagflation in the real economy. The government statistics will not reflect this. You guys know out there, I'm sure many of you have friends and family members who are struggling to find a full-time job. If you do have a full-time job, you can barely pay your bills. So, I mean, the mainstream media, which specializes in fake news and is currently still doing articles, I saw yesterday an article on MarketWatch written by a British guy who became a U.S. citizen. The guy's I guess a rich technology guy who decided that he's still communist or socialist with his politics, even though he made a lot of money investing in Silicon Valley and capitalism. He said that he wrote an article yesterday on the top 10 reasons why Donald Trump is a Russian spy. So the fake news, propaganda, mainstream media continues to get away with this bullshit. I have joined Gab AI. You can sign up for it. It's a free speech. Unlike Twitter, which is shadow blocking people and doesn't allow retweets and things like that. So if you guys want to follow me on there, it's Jason E. Burek on there. And I'm going to start posting on there occasionally. I think they're not allowing everyone to sign up right away, but there's a waiting list to sign up. So you can go to gabai.com, and that's my handle over there. So this is just why I wanted to do the short video. The Federal Reserve did the interest rate increase. We had Danielle DiMartino Booth on last week to talk about it, and she said they would. She was on CNBC here. You guys can see in the screen capture that she was on there too. So, and she's a Federal Reserve insider. So she's you can sign up for her free newsletter to get her knowledge of how things work inside the Federal Reserve. Basically with all these stupid academic PhD economists, people like Larry Summers. They're not stupid per se. They're book smart. They just don't have any common sense, or they have, a blind ideology. Like Marxism, socialism, Keynesian economics, these are all bad religions. That's how blind and ignorant these people are of reality. They just ignore reality and keep pushing on with their agendas. So people like Larry Summers and Ken Rogoff, we still see evidence, whether it's India or Venezuela or other future plans from the academics with the white papers, that they still want to go forward with the cashless society. Danielle DiMartino Booth thinks that stopped with Trump. Trump will be able to add 2 members to the Federal Reserve Board of Governors once he takes over. She expects them to both be hawks, but she also said that Donald Trump needs low interest rates for his Trumponomics, which is going to be similar to Reaganomics, which is supply-side economic stimulus plan. If that does not work out, the debt could explode, and we could have much worse stagflation accelerating in a hurry in the real economy with the tax cuts. If the real economic growth in the real economy, people don't create jobs, and the real economy doesn't actually grow. So it's going to be an interesting 2017. I think what's going to happen for the most part is the Fed probably in 2017 will not raise interest rates more than once. If they do raise it the 3 times that they promised, I think it will be almost intentional to crash the markets and the economy, create a recession/depression, and then blame it on Trump. So what do you guys think about that? That's it for the short video for today. But the Federal Reserve basically did this interest rate increase. They're saying that the economy is doing well. I don't think that's the real reason. I think the real reason the Federal Reserve and Janet Yellen decided to increase the interest rate by 25 basis points was to maintain whatever credibility they have left. If they would have told you, in 2008, 2009, that they were going to, Ben Bernanke would have said, done a speech and said, we're going to move our balance sheet from $800 billion to over $4 trillion very quickly. The dollar index would have crashed. The interest rates could have spiked very rapidly. Things could have went to shit very quickly. They would not have gotten the recovery in the asset markets, and they would have not have been able to sell people on this extended and pretend stagflate and lie propaganda, economic propaganda that they put out that the real economy is actually doing well. When people on Main Street know how difficult it is, your bills are going up like crazy, and it's very difficult to find a full-time job. And even if you have a full-time job, it's very difficult to afford all the necessities in life because the bills just seem like they're going up no matter what when the government statistics don't reflect this. Okay, guys, well, that's it for today. Eric Dubin and I will be doing a Welcome to Dystopia probably on Friday. So look forward to that, and take care, guys. Have a Merry Christmas next week. If I don't get to speak to you that much next week, we have a couple interviews lined up for next week as well. One of them is going to be with Nick Giambruno, who I met in Toronto at a Sprott event in September. He's a good guy, and he's going to be talking about how the globalism is kind of in retreat. They're not fully in retreat, but they've been losing battles with Brexit and Donald Trump in the Italian referendum. So I'm going to get his opinion on that, and I'm trying to book up 1 or 2 other guests before Christmas next week. Okay, take care, guys. Merry Christmas. Hi, everyone. It's Jason Burek of Wall Street for Main Street. Thanks again for tuning into our podcast and for helping us get over 2 million views on our YouTube channel and over 10,000 iTunes downloads per month. We have a special offer for our Wall Street for Main Street listeners that has proven to be a good investment based on plenty of 5-star reviews from satisfied customers and independent fashion bloggers. Mo and I recently tried some shoes from a new company which is run by a family of 3rd-generation shoemakers called Grant Stone Shoes. These are classic Goodyear Welt shoes using full-grain leathers from world-renowned tanneries. In a world filled with disposable products, it can be difficult to find items which can be used for years and later passed down to the next generation. Grant Stone is a smaller brand going direct to the consumer, which offers unprecedented value. Quality and fit is the cornerstone of their program, and the customer response and reviews confirm this. These are high-quality shoes at a good price for the busy professional who wants to improve their appearance at the office, in the boardroom, or out on the town with your girlfriend or wife. Or, if you're single like me, you know you will look good with these shoes on and maybe impress the ladies with your style and taste. But if the ladies love Obama or Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders and hate free markets or capitalism or entrepreneurs, at least I will look and feel good in my comfy Grant Stone shoes. Mo and I have worked out a special offer for our listeners. So when you go to grantstoneshoes.com, enter the code GOLD, that's G-O-L-D, for 10% off any purchase. That's grantstoneshoes.com and enter promo code GOLD.